Hey people, welcome back to my stream. And give me a second. Okay, I'm adjusting the. Maybe I should change the. Let me change something for a bit. Okay, I'm adjusting the compressor for a little bit. This might be too high. I actually have no idea. Maybe the ratio is too high. Anyway, I'll just listen back to my playthrough. So, all right, let's continue where we last left off. We went to sleep. I guess that's it. Yo, let me open. Oh, okay. My control. All right, here we go. All right. I feel very tired this morning. Probably because yesterday itself was a very tiring day. On top of that, I woke up far earlier than necessary. After saying hi to Shizune and Misha, I started doing the work as instructed from the board. It already looks like today is going to be heavy. I don't have a problem with that now. No. Shizune and Misha might jump on me trying to get an answer about whether or not I've decided to join the student council, even if it's just for one day. I wouldn't put it past them to try, and I don't have an answer for them if they do. So this situation is convenient for me. About 10 minutes into class, Hanako walks in and takes a seat, but no one looks at her. The teacher doesn't even comment on her lateness. He does, however, stop us to say that we're going to break into groups again. I turn my head and see that Shizune and Misha are looking at me. Shizune gives me a smile that is equal parts cute and menacing. This is a smile that says, "We have you now. There is no escape." Mi-chan, it looks like we're together again. Yay yay. Misha leans sidewards, while Shizune pushes her desk closer to mine. There really is no escape now, unless I were to jump through the window. Oh, you know what? When I read that line, I suddenly remembered that in episode 5 in Umineko, when Battler, quote-unquote Battler, that is actually being controlled by Burn Castle, jumped through the window. Just to prove, like, Kinzo was able to escape through the window. I don't know why I had that weird flashback just now. Jumping out the window isn't the best option, sadly. What's wrong, Hit-chan? Oh, Hit-chan, have you been thinking about what you said yesterday? You said that you would think about joining the student council, didn't you? It's okay, Hit-chan. We were talking about it after you left, and it would be rude to expect you to already have an answer for us this early. Right? Right? Ha 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 ha. I'm so happy you two are able to laugh at my expense, and even more pleased to know that you both know how crazy the two you can be. Now that's over. Shizune snaps back into serious mode and smacks today's assignment with the back of her hand in an overly dramatic and important way. When I actually look at the stuff, it's mostly just reading. In fact, there are only 2 problems. I almost want to say something about her rush to get started. Seems a bit much. I'm actually tired today. Heavy day. considering the small amount of work. In fact, Shizune probably knows how little there is and simply doesn't care. Yeah, it seems like the workload doesn't matter to her as much as the fact there is work. The actual amount isn't important. She approaches everything with the same level of ambition. While I'm reading, I let my eyes wander around the room and catch Hanako trying her hand solving the problems. It looks like she's working alone. I can't remember seeing her working with other people before. Thinking back to how shy she is, it's understandable. Hey, that girl over there. Huh? Who? He chat. Her. Hanako. Over there. Does she always work alone? I think so, Hichan. Do you feel sorry for her because she's alone? I was just thinking that maybe she could work with us or something. No, I don't think that would be a good idea, Hichan. Why not? Shichan wouldn't get along with her. Why? Misha shuffles around the question, letting out a laugh that sounds very strange. It's nervous, but still has that tilting up and down quality present in everything she says. Just because, Hichan. By now, Shizune had noticed our conversation. It makes me realize again how Misha has been signing everything she has been saying this whole time. What, Shichan? The friend of my enemy is my enemy? That sounds so harsh. I'm not going to say that. What? She really doesn't like Hanako? What the fuck? What's going on? Holy shit. You said it anyway. I know, Hichan. It's fine if you were here. I wonder if this is Misha's way of keeping things fair, Since without her, I wouldn't be able to understand the things Shizune is saying and vice versa. Is that also why she signs all the time? So there is never a conversation Shizune will be left out of? Anyway, we should start on the problems now, Hichan. Jesus Christ. We finished with time to spare, and I decided to ask if there are any alternatives to the cafeteria, as frankly, the food so far had been subpar. This ends Shizune and Misha arguing among themselves about their favorite restaurants. All of them are downtown, so I don't think we have time to go all the way there. And what about the bill? Are they arguing just for the sake of for the fun of it? Maybe. They seem so distracted by it that they don't even notice the start of an actual lunch break. I look over my shoulder toward the back of the classroom. She seems to be studying her notes from the previous class. It's an odd sight. Everyone else in the class is busying themselves with the lunch break. Socializing, gossiping, rearranging desks. The ones with actual box lunches mixed in, chattering like everyone else, only interrupted by short bouts of eating. But then, when I watch Hanako, it feels like that I'm the only one who can see her. Almost as if she was invisible, sort of hiding in plain sight. Oh shit, why is this in this ring? Finger. Is she being bullied? Is she isolating herself from the rest of the class on her own accord? I see her look over her shoulder toward the classroom's rear door. Come to think of it, she hasn't turned a page since I started watching her. Oh no, she's aware. She is aware. I guess she's waiting for someone. I'll go talk with Hanako. I still feel bad for making her run away yesterday, so I better say something. Hey there, Hanako. Hisao? Well, at least she remembers my name. Hey, I just wanted to apologize for yesterday. I didn't mean to startle you or anything. I'm just new here and thought I should get to know my classmates. As Hanako looks up at me, I notice you're scarring once more. It's a little bewildering that you can barely notice it from across the room, but it's so noticeable from up close up. Th- that's okay. It it was my fault. Yeah, that wasn't anyone's fault. It just kind of happened. So, are you waiting for someone? I saw you looking at the door before. Y- yes, Lily. Oh, you mean Lily the blind girl? Hanako only nods in response, and I can't help but wonder if defining people through their disabilities is a fall fast for the worst kind or just normal here. I guess that explains why Lily took off after her yesterday. She seems like a nice girl. Are you two friends? Yes. As if hoping for Lily to appear, checks over her shoulder again. I think I'm making her nervous again. I hope I'm not disturbing you right now. No, that's not it. It's just easier if Lily doesn't come here. Oh, because it's hard to get around the classroom? Not really. Hanako's gaze drifts past my shoulder and towards Shizune. Shizune? Hanako nods again. What about her? Don't they get along? Hanako shakes her head. Clearly, this is something she doesn't want to talk about. It does make a strange sort of sense. Shizune and Lily not getting along so well. Communication between the two would be all but impossible. It's hard enough talking to Shizune through Misha, even when you can see those hands are talking. Hanako is so focused on Shizune that I am the first to notice Lily at the door. Oh, she's here now. Hanako spins around to confirm this. Upon seeing Lily, she moves quickly to the door. Lily, Hanako, good morning. Is the president here? Yes. Hanako glances over her shoulder at Shizune again, as if to confirm she can't hear them, even though that's impossible. I suppose we'd best be off then. Lily's sigh and tone of what seems like frustration makes me raise an eyebrow. I guess there's some kind of enmity between the two. It's intriguing, but that's not really something I'd ask about. I'm sure if they wanted me to know, then they would tell me. It's only my third day here. I should be trying to make friends, not finding out why people are enemies. Still, it's a little funny to find out that the school has little feuds, just like my old high school. Even if people are more tolerant of others, they're still going to get on each other's nerves. Hey Lily, how are things? I'm sorry I made you run out yesterday. Oh my, is that you, Hisao? I didn't realize you were here. It seems that Lily is a little embarrassed about being so frank in front of me. Sorry, Lily. I thought you realized. No, it's alright, Hanako. Hisao, please don't worry about yesterday. It was just a misunderstanding. If you say so. I'm still working this place out. Well then, I think you'll find most people here a lot more forgiving than anywhere else, than elsewhere. You are feeling a little confused. Please don't be afraid to ask questions. Sure, I'll remember that. Um, Lily? Lily gives a small nod of acknowledgement. I'm sorry, Hisao, but we must be off. Hanako really doesn't look at all comfortable here right now, and Lily seems a little embarrassed. I wonder if my apologies really made any impact. Mind if I accompany you too? I know I'm kind of pushing it, but Lily quietly, still smiling. I'm sure that we can accommodate you, can we, Hanako? She looks at Lily, then at me, and then she freezes wide-eyed. Sure. Well then, shall we go? I'm sure Lily wouldn't do this so easily if she saw how scared Hanako looks, but it can't be helped now. Shogun. I don't know. How many times have I read the word "it can't be helped"? Shogunai. Anyway, declining after the deal is sealed would only cause confusion and problems. So we leave all three together. Lilia walks beside the wall, letting her cane gently tap against it every now and then. Hanako comes along right beside her, so close that she is practically half hugging her as they go. Although it must make her walking that much harder, Lily takes it in stride. As we turn around the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a steam train. Hanako shrieks a little, and my vision briefly goes black. Ouch. Oh. Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking up at me. They belong to the perpetrator, a short girl who bumped into me and has now fallen down onto the hallway floor. She wears a PE uniform and a very worried frown. The former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have on during a lunch break. More striking than that, though, is that she doesn't have legs. Wait, it's more like... Isn't the whole legs from your knee to like your foot? I guess maybe it should be half the leg, not like, because the thighs are still part of the foot. You know what? I don't know what. I don't know what you call what's when you only have half of the leg. Half the leg. Okay. Or she does. But they are not flesh and bone. Her pale and very much flesh and bone thighs and in the shins and feet made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. They look disturbingly artificial and unnatural. It almost makes you forget that my chest is hurting. Oh my god, his chest is hurting. That's kind of dangerous for him, right? Maybe. The girl winces a little, rubs her nose, and jumps up. Aw, man. Hey, are you alright? I'm sorry about that, really. I wasn't looking where I was going, and you just came out of nowhere. Sorry. She's looking really apologetic, in the hurt puppy way of looking apologetic. I quickly forget about being angry or anything, since hurt puppies are my weak spot. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Oh. I say that. There you go. This is what I was worried about, because he mentioned about his chest, so I wasn't surprised. I'm not surprised he had this kind of situation. I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest, and I know that this is about the biggest possible danger for my condition. Don't overexert yourself. Don't forget your medication, and most of all, don't get hit in the chest. I try to rub my solar plexus to chase the pain away, holding my breath and then attempt to hear my heart beat. Oh shit, man. This is so dangerous. It seems normal. Hey, should I get a nurse? The worried, high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. I stare at her for a few seconds, dumbfounded, until I realized that I probably looked worse off than I really was, doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn, I'm overly worried about my heart. No need. I'm fine. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time, and take a deep breath. She just knocked the wind out of me, big time, but it's nothing more than that. You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard. It's okay. I said it was fine and nothing broken. No harm done. That's good. I was... Hisao, what happened? She's not quite up to speed for obvious reasons, but she sounds very worried, more than the situation deserves, really. Someone just bumped into me. Nothing serious, just winded. Sorry, it's my fault. I was just going to get some stuff and I was kind of in a hurry. That someone here is Emmy, isn't it? The little girl quietly coughs quietly, and shuffles her plastic or metallic feet, looking down at them before saying anything. Hi, Lily. Hanako. I guess the girls know each other. Do please try to be more careful. You might be sturdy enough to endure these sorts of accidents, but there are people who aren't. I mean, our guy almost went into a heart attack, bro. Not gonna lie. Holy shit. The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously, just like a little girl caught misbehaving. It's so cute I find myself smiling. I know that. I was just... I gotta go. Teacher will have my head. I promised to help with the printouts, but I went running instead. Sorry, but I gotta change and everything. Before any of us can say anything, Emmy had already bolted away, leaving the hallway eerily quiet. Does that kind of thing happen often around here? There are more rules in Yamaku than usual for running in corridors, but that rarely stops Emmy, it seems. She shakes her head weakly and offers a slight composed smile. I don't think there's anything we can do to stop her, I'm afraid. Shall we be off then? Lily heads out along the hallway, and Hanako hurries after her. The route to the room the two of us use for tea is fairly simple to retrace, being still fresh in my mind from yesterday. Lily and Hanako quickly go about the business of making lunch. Before I can even open my small bag of food, Lily's busying herself with her thermos and tea bags as Hanako is setting out both their lunch boxes. Wait a second. How do they get their food? I actually don't understand how this works, man. I'm getting the impression he bought his food before he. I mean, you live in a dorm. Well, I don't know if there's a stove or something like that in the dorm building. I actually have no idea how dorms work because I never lived in the dorm. So, is this what you meant by coming here almost every day? Yes, Hanako and I usually have lunch here. It suits both of us, so we ended up using this room regularly. After seeing Hanako's reactions to me over the past couple of days, I can understand why that is a boon. That, and Lily being able to get some quiet away from her class as well. I take my seat last, after Lily's poured the tea for us and sits down. The more time I spend with these two girls, the more I think they're the perfect foil to Misha and Suzune. Even without a voice, Shizune is direct and brash, and Misha seems to get along with everyone. On the other hand, Lily is soft-spoken and relaxed, while Hanako seems to be the shyest girl I ever met. So, how are you faring in Yamaku, Hisao? You seem a bit flustered before. Apart from getting lost every now and again, and being crash-tackled outside my classroom, fine, I guess. You look pretty hurt before. Are you really okay? For a brief moment, I considered telling Hanako and Lily about my condition, but then I hold it back. Sorta unfair. Sorta unfair. Sorta unfair. Well, no, sorta unfair. Sorta. I mean, you can tell Lily's blind, but well, at this point, we don't know what Hanako's deal is, other than something about her face. I mean, I already know, but at this point in the story, we don't know why. But I guess, well, he's still in the point in time where he's still like, I guess he's still having a hard time coming into terms about his condition, Anyway, I can't tell why, but for some reason I feel uncomfortable talking about it to these relative strangers, even if they have been pretty friendly. Yeah, it's nothing. I was just a bit startled. Judging from the two girls' expression, I don't think they're buying it, but in what I assume is their way of respecting my privacy, they don't press the matter. I guess that is one of the unwritten rules around here. Don't ask. Even if people's conditions are obvious, like Hanako's, there's still bound to be a story involved. Everyone has things they don't feel comfortable speaking about, and I think everyone here recognizes that. So, how long have you been in this school? You both seem to know your way around pretty well. Well, well, I've been here since the start of high school, but only moved into the dormitories a year ago. Annika joined at the start of high school as well, and moved to the dormitories when she did, if memory serves me right. That's right, since high school. So you know each other since then. Since I moved, yes. Hanako lives next door to me, so it's only natural, right? Right. Yeah, of course. Living next to someone is probably a reason enough to befriend them, though I'm guessing that Lily's blindness played a part in it as well. I can't imagine Hanako easily making friends with someone who has deliberately avoid who has to deliberately avoid looking at her scars. With the immediate conversation dried up, we start to eat our lunch. It isn't long before the bells are signaling the end of break. Like me, the girls pack up their lunches as efficiently as they set them out. I guess I'll be better. I guess I'll better be off. Are you going to? Are you going to go with Hisao, Hanako? Hanako looks up at me, and for a second I can see that she is considering skipping class, maybe just to avoid walking to the classroom with me. Y- yes, I don't know what to think of it. Hanako really is a delicate to the point of breaking if looked at in this wrong way. It makes me a bit nervous too, but I push the feeling aside, trying to be as natural as I can. We should hurry then. Classes had already started by the sound of it. Lily gives a nod of farewell as she bends down to take her cane, Hanako and I filling out before her. We walk quickly down the empty halls to our respective classes. As we reach the door to Lily's 3-2 classroom, she turns toward me. Hisao, thank you for sharing lunch with us today. My pleasure, Lily. And with that, we part ways, Lily entering her classroom and leaving Hanako and me to make off to our own. To our own. She still looks like she wants to run away. So, do you really want to go back to class now? Yes. Okay then. I feel like I should say something more to her, but it's hard to come up with anything that would be appropriate and safe enough. And Lily was right. The more time we spend out here, the more explaining we have to do. I open the rear door to the class and walk in. The teacher looks up at me and opens his mouth to say something. However, as Hanako follows me in and closes the door, he simply nods to us and continues his lecture. Oh, what is there's some special treatment with Hanako. Wait a second. There's something about the teacher that makes me think that his design looks so familiar, as if I've seen this before. I don't know if it's just me. He reminds me of it feels like when I look at him, he reminds me of someone, or at least an amalgamation of two people or three. I don't know. Anyway, this is the third time that Hanako has had her truancy practically ignored. There's definitely something going on here. We make our way to our seats, and I notice Misha and Shizune are both missing as well. I wonder if it is some form of informal agreement with the staff, or if it's a perk afforded to the unique students of the school. Trying to make Trying to make as little disturbance as I can, I extract the relevant textbooks from my bag and start catching up. The class goes on quietly. The teacher seems like an okay person despite the weird first impression I got, and the material seems is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. Oh, that's the university experience, by the way. Where the final bell sounds, I realize that there is still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. It's odd. At the hospital, I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here, filling the considerably shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves, and left alone with the teacher. Muto is examining assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ball pen, raising his eyes from his papers briefly. He notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there is nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I do after school. The teacher slowly puts the cap on the pen he's holding and arranges his papers in the stack, clacking it against the desk twice. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment I'm reminded of Shizune, but the teacher is more unhurried and relaxed, much more routine. You have no plans? No. I consider joining a club, but I don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club. Might pique your interest. I guess. But I don't know how to continue from there. Muto looks at me in a way that makes you quickly want to take the words back to avoid the conversation, but I can't, so I had to forge ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to the people and everything. It's not that I will be isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about the disabilities. It feels like I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird to ignore them. Damn if I do, damn if I don't. The teacher scratches his cheek absent-mindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone, even if they are blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever that they might seem at first glance. He says the same thing as Yuko did. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness, when the only way to communicate with her is to talk to Misha or Hanako? It's not that you can ignore her face. But I am interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open. Teacher! Misha crashes in and hands straight in an enthusiastic greeting, her voice loud and lively enough to wake Odette from their graves. She starts toward the teacher's desk with a bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Muto, visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha in general, slumps in his chair. Mikado. Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, as if she's sensing from his tone that something's wrong but has no idea what. Yes? We had talked about the volume control before. Yes. But she doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So, what is it? We need help. We're running out of supplies where the festival stands. This is a distress. She waves a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from the art room. What's the problem with that? Plywood. Plywood is always the problem. Last time we wanted more, there was only a little. But that time we just took it all and went with it. Now, there's like none left there. So do you know where there is some? I don't understand. How would I know? Shi-chan, the president thought a teacher would know if there is plywood. Was she wrong? Muto looks like he is in great pain, frowning for his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible. Like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. I'm afraid I have no idea if there is any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any. Oh, what should I do? Perhaps try to find Mr. Nomiya? I'm quite sure he would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry them from his cold, dead hands, but that's a different matter. I don't have time. We are so busy. She holds her head with both her hands, looking as despairing as it's possible for a person like her. Without even noticing, she crumbles the note she's holding against her hair. I shouldn't even be fetching these things. There's so much to do, and we are falling behind the schedule. Muto looks at her gravely, and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't fit his face. I think it would be better if he didn't. I wonder if you could get some temporary help. He switches his to staring at me, focusedly, with a hard expression as if he's trying if as if trying to say go make some friends. Uh, I guess I can give you a hand? You can? Thanks, Chad. You really are nice. She pauses, does a double take, and then points at me with her finger, yelping, "Ah!" and looking very puzzled. Come to think of it, what's Hitchan doing here? Class is over. You should be having fun. We just had a little chat. Oh no, it's not detention, is it? Are you in trouble, Hitchan? No, I'm not. Is Hitchan in trouble, teacher? No, he's not. Muto sighs deeply, and I feel that I had to help Misha to get her off teacher's back. You gotta help the dude, bro. So, what do you need? Here's a list. I can try to find the plywood for somewhere else if there's none in the art room. She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. I'd say to help you, but this has no implications on whether I'm joining the council or not. Aww. Still, thanks here, Chad. Try to be quick. We are in the stall building streak now. You must hurry, hurry, hurry. She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like a silent agreement. Well, there you have it, Nekai. She has something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. Looking at the list with the number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written with small, neat handwriting. That is undoubtedly Shizuna's. I heave a sigh. I'll be going then. Waving the long list limply at the teacher, I exit the hallway. The classrooms closest to ours are designated belonging to classes Tree 1 and Tree 2 on the right side, and Tree 4 on the left side, each door looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, are rooms that I didn't think were used for the classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but it seems rather badly kept, or not in use. Am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room. A thin layer of dust settled on them. There are some easels in the corner, so at least this looks like the right place. The room is flush in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into the empty room. Anybody home? Something catches my eye, and I stop mid-sentence. Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform, with a fork between her top toes and a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me back even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in a corner very still, but I still somehow took her as a part of the furnishing or a statue at the first glance. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. The weird stalemate keeps us both stunned in silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello? The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello? I was told to pick up some supplies from here. for some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another fork bowl. That doesn't mean you're here then. She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You're pretty observant, I guess it does. But who are you? The girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. You sound Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. Wait. Never mind. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very nice. The deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kind of bothers me. Joking about these things doesn't feel appropriate at all. Well, I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and whether this girl is, she seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch if you don't mind? I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are at the back. Go right ahead. But lunch? Schools are already over for today. What word would you use then? There's no word for a meal you eat after lunch, but before dinner, right? Oh, there's a Spanish term, but you know. Anyway, it bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you're supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now, and my delicious box lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry. It's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much politeness, she points it straight at me. So, Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. No, the school from outside looked fine. Is your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth, but not getting a word out. I can guess. I'm good at guessing, better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer her question or skirt it around somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. I haven't even told anyone about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is a part of the social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be, with an overly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. As a beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a massive dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head. Something in your guts would be boring ordinary, like this lunch of mine, unless delicious. The problem must be in your pants. This messed up Sherlock kind of statement and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard. I think I might have reeled back, even physically, as Rin's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right. There's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing that I can think of. No, nothing like that. I have a heart problem. I rate meet with ya. I said it, more like blurted it out, but I said it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in the pants would have been much more scandalous. What's with that reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. Just, I collect people, and a person with, that kind of problem would have been really great. Collect people? People with different problems? Huh. So you just, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away. But I keep thinking about what she said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else, or didn't need to know about it like every other student here so far. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? Hi, I'm Hisao. I have a very serious heart condition. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us? What a disgusting thought. Or maybe this Tezuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. As I walked to the back of the room to pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opened to study Rin from the corner of my eye. A chance opens. Her hair is burnt auburn, almost orange, cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. The boy's uniform and the lack of arms make it look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty except for her murky green eyes, which flicker restlessly from bottom of her short bangs, even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it within them like deep wells. She moves her feet almost deftly as a normal person would use their arms. However, I can see how this sight could discomfort people, especially while eating. It makes me feel a bit uncomfortable at least. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabin, the shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable, so I try to force some conversation out of the strange girl. So, do you always eat alone and this late? Or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors? Maybe you are my first occasional visitor. But I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the route. If she's not horsing around. Horsing? She likes to do sports. Oh. And that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again as Rin forks the last bits of her meal in her mouth. I look down at my haul and double check it with Misha's list. It seems I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice of you. Nice for you. Don't feel obligated to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you are going to do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I had to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Rin. I feel that our relationship is at this point good enough to warrant this much. I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine then. I'm Hisao. Then you are. Rin looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Hisao. There's something like a tiny smile there in her face. Maybe. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself, what an intriguing person. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that. What did she hear? I dread at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow she had gone into jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about global feminist conspiracy, but it pushed that thought aside. Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof, as if she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited. Wait, I'll be right back. I need to get some water. Drinking milk was a bad idea. hurts, man. Alright. Wait a second. Is it just me or this guy looks like CIA? There's no way. No, that guy really does look like CIA. I don't know. Maybe I should look for like the original photos of the background. Anyway. No, wait. More importantly, who is in there? There's no club meetings today. She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here? You took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Hik-chan. She wags her finger at me scoldingly. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you're tardy. Oh, sorry. I just got the things here. Was just going to bring them. I think you were up to some mischief, Hik-chan. Who was in there with you, I wonder? Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door in the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she is experiencing. But Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of the daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it, must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Rin, frozen in place, apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders, with suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. What the fuck? Wait, I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry, guys. Man. Okay, I did wrong there. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots a very loaded stare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Rin is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about my reason of my tardiness. Hello? Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Rin directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello. Miss Tezuka, what do you think you were doing? You absolutely are not permitted to use school property for such, disgraceful activity. It sure is suddenly very crowded here. I don't know I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about the stern of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune and Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulder, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs. Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how is your project going? Will it be done for the festival? Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure of Shizune's cold stare at putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself too. And we'll think about it harder. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. Miss Tezuka, please take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch onto it. Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't. Not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. How rude. Oh. My shipment is ready to ship. Alright, I was shipping something I bought from the auction in Japan. It's a rare painting of Sora. Holy shit. My priorities in life, bro. Okay. Okay. All right. I paid, and I paid for shipping just now. All right. Oh, wait, give me a second. Let me double check, because I just removed something from the website. Let's see. How much is this amount in yen to shade PY? Oh, that's all right. That's the right amount. $380 is like almost is 58,700 yen. Oh, that's nice. Damn, the exchange rate, man. Okay, I'm stalling a bit. Oh, there's a new Miku pre-order. Holy shit. I don't like it. It's fine for me to ignore. Anyway, let's continue. It's true though. I must finish my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future. I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptic consequences, but she walks back into the art classroom. Since you had nothing to do, would you give me a hand? This paint doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks slightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on, and lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need to take it away? And with that, she takes off to the hallway, me and a paint can following, since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now with Shizen and Misha gone, so we two lead toward the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I had to change the can from one hand to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm, at least in case my arms were tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I had trouble matching. Or maybe I am walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure it out which. Did they skip? Because I just double clicked that. I just accidentally double clicked. Anyway, 2 flights of stairs below. Trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Mr. Nakai. What a coincidence. There's a too, of course. My back. Where's my back like this, man? Nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, and turns to me because obviously it's me he has some business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medication. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects. which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So, we will do a few tests regularly, but what I'd want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything. And come see me if something happens. Alright, so, how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers, students here, my parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. I said this school. This is a small school. Both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me you've been at neither school track nor at even the pool. So I'd like to know if you have taken up exercising as I ask. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring gives me the feeling I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as much. I just happen to know a few people, but that's not the issue here. So don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times like a sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which she didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you are still in your first week and all, but please, don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that the habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it will be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise to be more serious about this from now on? Yes. I mean, that's the natural answer, man. If I'm worried about dying, of course I'll say yes. Holy shit. I didn't even take it so seriously until now. Holy shit, man. Of course I'll say yes, man. Who the hell would say maybe? What the fuck is your problem if you say maybe? Do you want to die? Okay, I can imagine some people want to die, but you know, I don't know, man. I I wouldn't say maybe. That's my natural inclination, at least. Anyway, yeah, I promise. Definitely. He studies me for a moment, then shrugs and smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy. He probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog a bit. Consultation? See you around. He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and I walk to Rin, who has been waiting, idly leaning against the hallway wall, staring at the pale lighting fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are you getting medications with your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality, too, talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty. But Rin is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. Sigh. Why did I read the word sigh instead of actually sighing, man? Anyway, I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there is some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're from my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Ren looks at me a little for a while longer, and she neither says anything further nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I am thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all of this. At the hospital, it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about living in the having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building, and Rin leads us onward toward the dorm. We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm room building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground, with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they go and go. It's probably the only inconvenient design in the school. The entire wall made of some kind of bricks, as the building itself had been covered with some sort of painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quickly drawn with light, black and white against gray plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands. I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground beside the wall. See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. I had to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people with hats. The reach is better and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent, waving a little with her arm, or whatever it there actually is, to demonstrate even though I got the point already. The white cut of her sleeve flaps around. It makes me think it could look sadder than it does, but it makes me feel out of place. Like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact she lost me a while ago already, and just keeps on blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out. Then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Why would hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, then it has to dry, then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of a statement that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So, this is your project? You did this? Yes, yes. All of it? Yes. Nice. But I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I'd walked straight into a minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay. You can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blush really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels that I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See, I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was using her feet to eat, I figured painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us has anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat. Flat. Like some people are. No substance, no meat where there should be some. I know a few girls who, okay, I get it, but I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or artistic terms, so I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders at that, saying, suit yourself, without saying it, and looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I didn't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you can give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little before it's too dark. I want to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports track, but there aren't any. Rin sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Bro, did you just say that? What the fuck? It's a good thing he wasn't saying that out loud. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help though. It's just mixing some paints. You can do that. Probably. Do you have motor skill problems like, those people who have some? Cerebral palsy maybe? Not that I know of. I get it. Heart thingy has nothing to do with that. She gives me a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a white brush between the toes of her bare right foot. I open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paints flow lazily from the can to the bowl like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a new monotone hue. Rin sets to work every now and then, asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last millimeter before she is satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best. Add a half a splash of green. I crouch down to pick up the can of bright green. Then the other green. This green. I carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl. No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add? No idea. You're the artist here. A hint of smile appears at the corner of her mouth. Do you lack an opinion? No, it's just that I had no idea. Wait, isn't that the same? What the fuck? It's okay, because I just got an idea. Add more white. With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream, but can't remember it. Maybe it's yellow. Despite the impossibility of mixing a color, like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that's being imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing a painting being born on the plaster wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have mixing paints, crouching down on the paving, and just looking at her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy. But Rin doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Wait, give me a second. Let me check on the email. It's fine. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixes, neither of us say a word for the longest time. And even those short discussions soon evolve into a shorthand, both of us developing and using these weird impromptu code words for various paints and hues, as if there was some need to consider words in breath and sound. Oh, nice! You actually see it actually evolve. We stay there late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. Hmm. All right. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of the pit, pitful slumber and into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. I don't know why. When I look at the bed, it kind of reminds me of Tsukihime for a while. I mean the OG, not the remake, because the original bedroom was just like kind of like this. I mean, it's not the same angle, but like it felt plain, and it wasn't like in the remake it actually does look like room in a mansion and all, but like and then no, there was something about like it feels so isolating of sorts. But anyway, I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses as for why I already haven't. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they are going to let me get away that easily, and the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercising as well. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, so I didn't get issued with a gym outfit. I ordered some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer's clothes is kind of nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, or maybe they can get a new life this way. A bit like me. After all, if I'm going to start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basics which includes keeping the rest of my body in shape, along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. Maybe then I can go back to something approaching a normal life, or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track, literally like a half mechanical gazette. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running last at a somewhat easy lope. Her prosthetic legs cracking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurse is suppressing the poor girl to just like me is suppressing me. What the hell's wrong with you? Holy shit. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health, and this prompting me to do so. Even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get out of the way. I want to get it out of the way early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape were merely a happy accident. I'd leave, but it seems that my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and dogs over. Good morning. Your name is Hisao, right? She grins, seemingly pleased that she remembered my name. You may not remember me. Emmy, I knocked you over in the hallway yesterday? How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Emmy has a decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling. Yeah, sorry about that again. Hmm. Well, so long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose it'll be fine. Great. Why the hell did I read it like that? I'm not sure she would realize I was joking. So, the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you? That's right. Oh, I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest. What? Are you saying I don't look like I could be a spy? No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid he would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you're here to do exactly that. No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I had seen a messy-haired transfer student who looks like he's kind of lost around the track. So, why are you down here? Amy strikes a dramatic pose. Training! For what? Track. Ah, I see. You're on the track team then. Amy nods enthusiastically. Yep, I'm one of the better runners too. And I'm honest about it too. Hey, you should join up. It's good exercise, you know. I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. Nah, I'm not even sure that I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know. It's true. I never really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Amy seems to understand my meaning. I see. Not that into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're going to run together, huh? What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased. Are you going to warm up? Real men don't warm up. Oh no, you should. Oh wait, my brain is dying. Oh no, you always should warm up. Bad Hisao. She scolds me enthusiastically, then smiles and leans closer. I hate warming up too, she laughs suddenly. Heck, and I don't even have to stretch my legs. As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blades seem to be quite elastic. Let's go! So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Emmy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I find myself concentrating more on running properly. Hands spread, right? And something about hitting on the balls of your feet rather than the heels. It's been ages since I actually did some running or sprinting or like jogging. I should think about that. I'm trying to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently, I'm not very good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple of laps today, and slow to a walk pretty quickly. Emmy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my somewhat grasping demeanor. Finished already? I hang my head ruefully. Yeah. I'm not in a very good shape right now. Emmy nods, then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling. Well, the important thing is you started, right? Next time, you just have to hold out longer, and then longer, and longer, and eventually you'll be great. I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now, I'm going to go get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Amy shrugs unconcernedly. Nah, I've got plenty of time. I noticed that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug. Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Hisao. Yeah, see ya. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit that I do feel slightly good about getting it out there this morning. And like Amy said, I just need to keep at it in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect, or something like that. It's nice at least to feel that like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I'll have to try to keep this up. I really like that they kept they really kept the updates, so they're really updating this. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. I head back to the dorms to wash and change into my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyway, I dry myself off and got off the stall to put on my clothes. Out of nowhere, a shadow appears within the mist, looming and radiating malicious intent. It bursts through the fog. Sup? What are you doing here? What the hell? You scare me. What's your problem? I should be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man. What do you mean, all over the place? I want to ask if he's been looking for me like that. Start naked, but I hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked too. I quickly hold up my shirt in front of me, but Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. Bro, he's blind. What the fuck? I mean, he's semi-blind. His glasses are fogged up, but then why doesn't he wipe them off? Is his vision so bad it's like he's perpetually seeing through fog? You know, your room, and yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, I still had to get up, though. Whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money? He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as his window pane-sized glasses. Talking neutrally like this, wearing nothing feels awkward. Actually, somehow it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked. To say nothing of the fact he's naked as well. Try to brush the feeling off with a little success. Money? Sure. Awesome. Wait, why do you need it? Can't you just give it to me because I had the goodwill not to run through your pockets while you were in the shower? I could have, but I exercised restraint. And in the end, isn't the thought that counts? Come on, be a pal. This makes no doesn't make sense. This makes no sense. If it's the thought that counts, actually. This is severely impure, and his intentions are probably even more sinister since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much to him. I'm offended, man, but if that's your game, fine. I guess I have no choice. I want to order pizza, and I already have most of the cost of the pizza. I need your help for the rest. I got some of that pizza too, right? No. What an asshole. What an asshole. Are you serious? Yeah, I will give you some, but you have class, and you don't have time to eat pizza. What about you? What about you? I'm not going to class. I had to wait for the pizza, pay the guy, and then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you and the pizza, and they will ask for a slice. It's a hard world out there. Everyone wants a slice, and you're left pizzaless in an unforgiving world. It's happened before. That's how I know. Every day, I plan my vengeance, so when the people who wrong me order a pizza, I will be there, ever vigilant. Kenji strikes a dramatic pose, completely without irony. But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Please, you're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza. It's too far. I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened the last time I went out without carefully planning it out in advance. I was outside. I can't remember what I was doing. Something. Standing? Maybe wondering how I got there. And then, out of nowhere, it happened. Like a flash of lightning, splitting the sky. Like how you split a sandwich into two equal pieces to make it more manageable to hold and eat. A bird crapped in my head. It was the second most shocking moment of my life. What was the first? He ignores me and keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. Is he just trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely he just didn't hear me. It was like the openings of some kind of anime show. You know how there is always a part where the main dude is fighting his rival and they fly at each other and clash swords and there's like big dramatic colored auras and zoom. It was like that. That doesn't make sense. What the fuck is he saying, man? What the fuck is he saying, man? Okay. So yeah, I need some money. Please, don't leave me hanging, man. I only need... said a while ago it was 400 yen. Why is it now 1,000 yen? What a fucking liar. This is bullshit, man. I thought it was 400. Okay. What? I'll pay you back. I swear. You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff. I don't know when I'll be able to... You know it's a donation at this point, man. It's a donation. You know what? It's a donation. It's a donation at this point. You have 1 week. Kenji winces. It makes it's like a dying cow. A particularly disturbing argument that his method is conductingly free. You're not supposed to be so tight-ass about money between brothers and ours, man. Men had it bad enough as it is. Did you know that male porn stars only make about half what female porn stars make? What the fuck is this? What is this fucking logic, man? That doesn't mean... that doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star. So maybe... So maybe I am a porn star on the side, struggling to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda, and you can't even spot me your crumbs. Nobody understands. Nobody. What did feminists be against pornography in the first place? Arguably, there is a camp that does, and there's another that's like, you meant there's a camp there is, and there's a camp there is not. There is and there's not. It depends. I actually don't know too much about feminism, but you know there is a camp for both sides. The argument. This feminist agenda stuff again. This stuff is important. I can see that you don't give a shit, but this is important. This is serious. Here, feminists are a dangerous enemy. Make no mistake, you take them lightly, and you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back, out of nowhere. How do you wake up in the morning and someone's standing there? Women are terrible at stabbing things. I thought you just said don't take them lightly. I can't keep on reading this. I can't keep reading this shit, man. I need to relax, man. Bro, my fucking mic is like... I I don't know, man. I just can't keep reading this, man. Well, I mean, don't take them lightly for the big things. Individually, they're not a threat. But if there was some kind of war, like a big war, with men on one side and with the feminist forces on the other side, it would be pretty ugly. And that day will come when the feminists come out of their central top secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfuckers!" You're being ridiculous. There's no big worldwide feminist headquarters. Where would they even hide that? I mean, it'll have to be massive. You couldn't hide that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with women on it. Who said it was on Earth? I can't finish this section properly, man. I turn away for Kenji and start practicing frowning faces in the mirror so that I can figure out what kind of frown will best express my emotions. He can't see me from this distance anyway, which unfortunately means that he keeps on ranting without any regard to sense or sensibility. Yeah, there is a war going on, a war that many know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all of the known world. Then we will have to pick sides. We will have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it. It's a bloody battlefield. A vicious conflict without... This is literally a pole tread for me, man. This is no different from me going to pole. What the fuck is this shit? I almost gave up when I thought this class was silly, when I grew tired of the bleakness of our fight, when I mistook the time the power went out for the feminist raid and thought the end was near. But then I realized that if I gave up, it would be all over. And I was like, whoa. I knew I had to get serious because I am the last sane man in the insane world. It's about duty. Must be a pretty crappy movement if it... It must be a pretty crappy movement if it all hinges on one nigga. One naked guy ranting in the bathroom. Another naked guy. Fuck this, man. I can't. Why am I finding this so funny, man? This looks so low hanging for some reason, but it works. Oh my god. This whole sequence. So, can I have the money? He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked and I want to go to class. So I agree up to spot him with the money. Did you spot him for 1,000? Awesome. Thanks, dude. We should go bowling later on. What the fuck? Bowling? Yeah. It's the ultimate sport. There are almost no women bowlers either. Making almost invariably a sport. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt with matching shoes or the pastel green with the flower accents? There are bowling clothes? Maybe. Anyway, you better pay me back. I can pay you back in stuff. I can pay you back in stuff, right? I don't have the time to ask him to elaborate on what that means. I don't know. I had to get to class. You're kind of in the way. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I don't want to hold you up. And I have some stuff to do myself. The time has come. I don't want to read the next thing. I know it's going to be something stupid. Jesus Christ, man. The time for what? I just like fucking choo choo, man. Fucking choo choo. Okay. Now the time has really come. For what? I had to use the bathroom. Get out of it. I was just going to. What does that mean? It's a big bathroom. So, I had to be alone or I can't go. The pressure. Okay, what if someone else comes in? I'll think of something. I give him my practice frown. And it looks kind of silly reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see anyway. So I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though eternity had passed since I woke up. Bro, I cannot survive this. I cannot survive an encounter with Kenji. Like, what the fuck? It's like I'm shitposting, man. It's like I'm shitposting, and there's a guy who really gets baited, and he's not like he's a fucking fool. You know, he gets baited so hard. Oh my god, why is this happening to me? Oh my god, I'm not gonna survive another Kenji encounter. I need to calm down for a little bit. Okay, there's nothing new. Oh man. All right. Anyway, okay, let's go back. Let's get back. This time, I will never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. This is the time I will never get back. You know what? I feel him, man. I feel him. I will never get back that time. What a piece of shit, man. All right. All right. But right now, I have to get to class. I'm the first person in class today. Although, I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue and frustration and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hits the surface of my desk. Ow. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is as good as a reason as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early later. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside the hallway, and Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. She steps in on her own accord though, after straightening her skirt and shirt collar as if it was of importance to look prim when entering our classroom. Excuse me, she calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily. Hisao? Good morning. I didn't hear you come in. I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely. If I were to tell too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here. Just asleep until now. Oh, have you seen Hanako today, by any chance? No, she seems to come in only just before the bells ring. Or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you? No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here. I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess. You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should. Punctuality is a good thing. I think so. Anyway, it's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that is why it's so quiet today. Hi, hi. Oh shit. I remember they don't jibe well. This two don't jibe well with Lily. Misha pops into the room with Shizune, as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch. Hi, Hit-chan. Hi. Look, it's the class representative. Hello? Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha, or Shizune's use of the word look. Oh yeah, that's an ass. What? Yeah, what a fucking asshole. What the fuck? Holy shit. Or maybe I'm overthinking this too much. I probably am. Good morning. Of course, you're not the representative of this class, right? Right? I'm not. Lily seems a little more guarded in her responses to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realized that Lilia might actually not know Shizune is present, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is, to know who she is talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the one that actually talks. Damn, how complicated. I decide to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune. You were here even earlier than us. Misha buzzed out her chest angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird though, that Shizune didn't like my comment. It's true, I was here earlier than them, so me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything, especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on. Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival is coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their projected budget reports for their events, even the first years. Except you. Wahaha. There is still time to hand it in, isn't there? Today. The deadline is today. You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd had all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone had to say the deadline. Please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect the whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Yeah, okay. So Shizun is a very divisive type of person, you know. She's very aggressive and all. And then you have Lily, who's I can imagine who's calm, kind of waits for consensus, and at least that's my understanding right now. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class's event? Handling the same matter for every class in the school, and then some. The one who does that is me. Misha puts her hands on her hips, stands up straight. Wow, she really is getting into the role. Lee doesn't look like she's very amused though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left. Please, Hisao. It's all right. Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself. If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I have forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. Then, can I have it, please? Shizune, she might not have it on her at this exact second. It's not here right now. I asked two students to take care of it for me. Students for my class. She emphasizes the last sentence, much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council. Oh, I didn't realize the question mark. I didn't read that question mark. I guess word must have gotten around. So now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better. Oh man, it's been a while since I've seen her full angry. Holy shit, she's in his full angry. Holy shit. It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away. As a class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. That kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it, being capable of doing so. But the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and gave it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay. Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't. She seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Man, they really hate each other. At least Shizune. I'm getting the impression that it's pure Shizune, man. Or at least because she's playing defensively, but they don't like each other from my I mean we already know, but I can feel it. Lily, don't they live here at school? It's a 5-minute walk, What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to draw out something that affects the enjoyment of their entire class? Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. The mere fact she opens her mouth, she straight up wants to actually say it instead of you know, trying to handle it through sign language. Misha, she's really frustrated. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal. And what's with that attitude? I said it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class rep, or aren't you? Tell me, the names of those two students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something that's simple yourself. One form isn't the full extent of what I am supposed to take care of. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she is doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she is becoming. She's playing her cards closest to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edges of her glasses, knowing Lily can't neither hear nor see how excited she is. Of course, you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without a hint of sarcasm, which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other. That much is clear. But this seems a little much. It seems like Lily had enough and is ready to push back. Oh shit! Here we go. Oh shit! I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be a very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That would be very difficult for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent. Oh man! The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. Hit-chan, don't you slack up either. What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hit-chan? You are, aren't you? Then I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person. All right, I'm picking my side. Hey, come on, cut me and Lily some slack. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much, even if I wanted. That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into it on his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Oh shit, I picked sides! Holy shit, I pick up sides! I picked my side. You finally understand, Shizune? Excuses, excuses. Miss Class Rep has plenty of time to deal with her report. And we repeatedly offer you a position to help with the student council work, but you refuse to commit yourself to making the festival a success. Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it will mean being drawn to the confrontation with Shizune, and this is what she wants. Actually, this is actually what she wants. Remember the game of Risk? She was testing me. She was testing me. She wanted me to be aggressive. She wanted me to fight. But I chose the path of defense. Some shit. Whatever. Forget it. I turn my back at them. Lily, class is going to start. Lily, class is going to be starting soon. So we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I can feel she's in there freezing. Maybe this is the first time she has ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave now then. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week and turns on her heel to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I can feel her eyes burning into my back, and I can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate this tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her. Wait, give me a second. Okay, it's my mom asking about recommendations in Japan, which, well, I'm not going this year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. But I've been buying too much things from Japan that I end up not going to Japan. Anyway, let me go back. I had to tell her that Lily was looking for her. They see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of the chalk on the blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do. So I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I have to deal with crowding in the hallways. I notice Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune is signing so fast that her hands make noise like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there is pent-up anger in there. Misha's trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. She's like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished, and the girls sit down on their seats again. I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit without getting roped into the student council thing, though I suspect the door is now closed for me. Festival preparation must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking this festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore her or sneer at me. But in the end, she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with a slightly unfocused eye. She signs with the harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly to Misha. She must have practiced that vigorously. Well, of course. We're in the student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws. Nor, I think that was encumbrances? No, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect. She's in his passionate speech, and Yusha's enacting are really oddly fitting of them. Oh, hello. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was just in jest. Shizune stares at her approvingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapping nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she is showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Sato. She came by in the morning though. Hanako keeps looking uneasy at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she is intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It's a little uncomfortable, watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems. Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her, she is in her classroom, working on her festival project, but who knows where that woman is loitering at. You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question. Looks awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah, I can come with you, if it's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. I kind of understand why she always seems to be so wary, or maybe more like why there could be a person like her, but I still have no idea how I could act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly. So she must have been trying to get in the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowded during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag. We take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. It almost feels like we're going for a stroll together. Something that I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same though. Even though we are walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach of me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me, given how shy she is. There doesn't seem to be much helping it. I- This, this again, this line, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there isn't much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already? J- just at the library. I was reading. So she does spend the classes spend the time spend the classes she skips at. Oh, let me remind where am I remembering? So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. Ah, so not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like she's in a said, right? Right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that silence between us is hovering on the edge of both of our minds. So, you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right? Yes. Not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked that question. That much was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect that Lily may well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in a different class, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp and almost reflexive nod, compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech. Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Lily comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy. She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more. Both of us content that the discussions reach an end. I mean, this is a trick question. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright? Just keep going. The students pass us without as much as a second glance, and Hanako takes up position to my side. Again, as we enter the building, her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb toward the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've never known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would have been even able to walk beside me like this. She seems to completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strained silence, while I rue her inability to socialize at all. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first, then come to me for backup, I wonder? Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reached the door to Class Tree 2, with Hanako less than slowly positioning herself behind me. I opened the door. Inside is a hive of activity. Seemingly every student in the class talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and manners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. Guess my first priority should be finding Lily. There. Finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her, as she stands at the front of the class, she seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organizing them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor, for lack of a desk space, I raise a hand entirely out of habit as we finally reach Lily. Hi, Lily. She perks her head up as she breaks off talking to a notably smaller girl, who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best as she can. Sorry, who? Sorry, Hisao. I have Hanako too. Hi. She's pretty skittish, considering the number of people around. It isn't too hard to work out why. Lily takes a moment to pause to assess the situation before turning to the other class student once again. For the moment, just ask Moriya for his advice. Kenji's busy with painting one of the banners already. A quick nod and she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly turn about, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in the corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of plot as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make out my face when I met him. Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand. That's right. Class Tree 2 was specifically for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Oh, yeah, okay. I think I totally understand why it's so hard for them to make like a document. Maybe. Actually, no. You know what? I don't. I actually don't. You know what? Never mind. You know what? Never mind, man. Just never mind. Need a hand? I could give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. A chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods in affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Lily gives a notable sigh of relief. Ah, that's good. This might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person? Oh my god! Fuck! I'm not gonna make it, guys. I'm not gonna make it. To help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help. Kenji? Sure. She seems surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her. I think you met? Our rooms in the door right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good to see you're getting friends so fast. Friend? I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminds me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. We'll go help him, then. He knows what he needs doing, right? That's right. Just ask if you have any problems. Cruising in ascent. Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey, Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the large half-painted kanji and sketch on the sheet in paint and pencil. Kenji? Huh? What? Who is it? If this is the way he treats class members, it's no wonder he's working on this alone. It's me, Hisao from... Right, I know that, man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissive attitude annoys me. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. When we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me reminds me that she's here. I was just going to help with the banner. Hanako and I, that is. Hello. Oh. Hey. I guess that's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about face. His sudden fox hospitality slightly unsettled. If there's a girl involved. If there's a girl involved. Alright. Women. On second thoughts, this might not have been a great idea after all. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner to Kenji, noting the several small paint tins on the ground around it. Tree 2 Noodle Stall. You guys are selling noodles at the festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stalls outside, or something. Or something? His non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The tacit hand comes at first, though. So, how do you want to split this? We do borders while you do the text? Or do you want to switch and do the borders? Text is mine, you do the borders. It's a surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colors to use. By the time I put the brush to cloth, she already started on the delicate pattern. No slight idea of taking her mind off everyone around her worked. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako working to lean toward me and whisper conspiracy. Here we go. Okay, man. Why are you here? Hanako just wanted some help to find Lily. That's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations. I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating. Oh my god, man. Oh my god. I can't start this, man. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover. I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here? Obviously, it sucks. But there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. We gotta stick together, man. This is a harsh school. A harsh world. Yeah. Very harsh. He misses my true meaning as he leads back, satisfied I'm sympathetic to his cause. I'd better get down to work. Finish. Looks like I am too. Good job. The two of us connect up the lines of our patterns, mine being as close as a copy as I could manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left finishing off a sign, as well as Lily and a couple of students knocking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrists. If her scars extend even into there, just how much her body was burnt. I feel a pang of guilt about it. However, as she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I mean the banner. It does, I guess. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result just as I do. With the floor slightly neater for the decorations being placed on the desks and shelves, it's much easier to get to Lily as we cross the room. We're finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done? Lily gives an appreciative nod. Thank you, Hisao and Hanako. If there's any way I can thank you, it's fine. Beat sitting in my room studying at any rate. I don't mind either. She nods before suddenly remembering one last person. Oh, is Kenji still here? Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gets an answer from the other side of the room. Yeah, just finished. He carefully slides his sign onto an empty section of the shelf to dry, before quickly walking past us and out of the door. See ya, man. Bye. The remaining two students say their goodbyes to Lily before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess that's everyone. I hope we don't have to do anything like that again. Working past school time? Indeed. The class's plans this year was ambitious. Maybe too ambitious. The stalls look nice though. She's right. It shows that a lot of work's gone into them. My. I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself. It's getting pretty late. Should we go? That's probably a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Hisao? Yeah. I guess I'll tag along. The nighttime lighting really makes the gardens look quite different. Compared to the usual look of the lush greenery, things are much more calm. But that it's so late, the lack of students all around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and from the dorms trying to eke the most of their approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after the mad rush during school. Without even noticing it, I let out a small yaw. Tired? Yeah. Still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The thing with cheese in it took me kind of off guard though. I grit my teeth a little at the candid mention of their public spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it. About that, I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways. Her voice seems slightly irritated as she remembers Shizune, obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. I glance to Hanako for her views on this, but her expression is, unsurprisingly, evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered. I'll be glad once the festival is over. In any case, the change of topics welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine. My old school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this. Yamaku stresses the idea of school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals and such special occasions. And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, savoring the fact that none of the staff around here are grumbling. I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school helped me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is a much more relaxed. Now go away toward explaining her well-bred speech and behavior. In any case, oh, the Gokugenyo types. Oh, nice. As we walk, as we come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. See you, Lily, Hanako. The two give polite nods before setting off to the women's dorms, just next to the guys. As is to be expected of such an arrangement, there's a staff member casually patrolling around outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans. What the fuck? But I heard. Then why does this have a toggle for adult mode and not? What the fuck? Anyway, never mind. Walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long before walking into my room. It feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seem almost a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad. Man, the comment around is so long. Holy shit. Or maybe I only had such a short time doing the comment around. I know, I only started yesterday, but it feels... I couldn't start earlier. I really wish I could. Maybe tomorrow, if I'm lucky. Morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least, that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? Oh, it's you. I'm surprised to see you again. Why is that? Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowned, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Like, the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly it appears she'd forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes. So come on. I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling, while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know, I should be patient, working toward things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Oh, why am I doing this? I'm actually saving for a choice. I thought I was going blind. Go for it. What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let Emmy pull ahead? I speed up. The second lap's done quickly, and without even considering it, I keep going. Emmy looks back over her shoulder at me and grins. Still going? Wouldn't want you to think I'm out of shape. Well, I'm actually out of shape. I mean, me in real life. I should get my shit together too. Emmy laughs without breaking her stride, no less, and speeds up even more. Well, if this is the way we're going to play things, I increase my own pace as well. I can feel my lungs burning, and my legs are starting to question just what the hell I think I'm doing. Lactic acid screams in my muscles, but I close my ears. I can't let myself fall behind, because that would be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires mildly just when we started playing a game. I'll answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast. How the hell does she keep it? It's like a string pulling at my chest. A choking feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think of anything else, then, oh shit, the track disappears from under my feet. I stumble, one hand shooting down at the crotch of my chest, the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Amy whirls around and her eyes widen. Hisao! She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. What's wrong? Nothing. Just keep your breathing steady. Calm down. Don't panic. Don't panic. Do you need me to get the nurse? I close my eyes, shutting out the outside world. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon, it's gone like nothing happened. It was nothing. No. Something happened there. I open my eyes again. I glance at the very worried Emmy. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird even to myself. Oddly even matter of fact. It makes Emmy frown. I don't think you are. She seems to come at a decision and nods to herself. Right. You're coming with me. You got to see the nurse. Emmy grabs my arm, drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse the shoulder Emmy offers for support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed by my own weakness. I'd rather not have Emmy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd really rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point, it seems to be too late for that as well. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own, without being a bother to anyone else. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. Nurse! Emmy crashes into his office without knocking, but it doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, Sunshine. What's up? Sunshine? Anyway, he calmly sips his coffee mug but lays it down after following Emmy's gaze to me looming in the doorway. Hisao? What brings you here? We were running, and he stumbled over and started grabbing his chest, and I thought I'd get you and make him wait there. Wait, it automatically moved by itself. I didn't even touch anything, man. Easy there, Emmy. Calm down. Hisao, what happened? I don't know. We were running, and then my chest started hurting like that the time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurses frowned, as if to say that flutter is some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested to get some exercise. You got to be more careful, Hisao. I was being careful. I just, come to think of it, I just got into a race with a member of the track team. Doesn't seem as well reasoned as I thought it would. You just what? That is, I was racing Emmy. Emmy, is this true? Emmy fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well... Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it aloud and merely nods. The nurse sighs and rubbing at his forehead and one hand tiredly. Emmy, you got to be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but Hisao has a bad heart. Getting him to race was incredibly irresponsible. Actually, I started it. The nurse is stunned by my statement. You what? We were just running, and Emmy started to pull away, and so I sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling, muttering a prayer for patience to some god or another, and looks back down at the both of us. So you're both stupid. That's a comfort, I guess. Now, come on, Hisao. I gotta make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. I duly obey and follow him to the adjacent room, where we ascertain that I am, in fact, not going to kneel over and die. So, how does it feel? I don't know. Nothing much. Tired, but it might just be from the exercise. You should stay here for a few hours and rest. We'll see how you feel after that. I'm not going to object, so I'll lay down on the infirmary bed. A thoroughly miserable Emmy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room. I couldn't hear what he said through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. Look, I'm really sorry. I should have been more careful. Hey, you didn't know. It's not your fault. She looks awfully down and sorry, and my reassurances don't do anything much to cheer her up. I want to make it up to you. Again with that decisive nod. So, you had to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really good. I start with you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see her face. Good. We meet on the roof. We? Yep. The weather's nice now. So the roof's a great spot for lunch, you know. Oh yeah, she's super friends with Rin, right? I remember Emmy's friends with Rin. I see. You'll come, right? You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you. Of course not. Great. See you there. I stay afloat somewhere between asleep and awake, feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed, apart from my senses. By the way, this kind of reminds me of Shiki for a moment. Guy would die if he had something similar happen to him. No, if he had like an anemia attack, he will be. He's especially on the later days. He's so close to dying. I swallow with difficulty and then try to lie as much as still as I can, which in this state is not a very hard thing to do. The nurse is shuffling around the other side of the curtains he drew to give me privacy. I can see a shadow shifting about in the sunlight. He has opened the window of his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze in a heavy, lazy motion, like waves. Light shifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. I close my eyes. The breeze on my face feels like the soft fabric of the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on his computer and my own heavy breathing. It's steady. Damn it. Not even a week. And I end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better not to play the half baked sports star in front of the real one. And why did I try to act brave? Like, that heart flutter was no big deal. Even when it was obvious that it was. It was just reflex. To push it away. To keep it inside. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want Emmy to see it. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I had to be more careful, or I will end up in the hospital again, or worse. That's my final thought before I give in to the tiredness. I fell asleep. For how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes against unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before. How are you feeling? I can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. I feel kind of groggy from falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully, I don't look too weird. What time is it? Me croaking the question to gain some orientation. The nurse looks at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to happen in slow motion. 10:15. I tried to think for a moment what that means, but I'm not really sure. He didn't answer my question, Hisao. Oh, fine. Lying down for that bed then. Now let's see how you're doing. Don't. I try to do exactly that, only sway dizzily when I move too fast. The nurse moves to support me by an arm each size. Stand up too quickly is what I was going to say. Just sit there. I'll check your pressure to make sure. My good intentions sure lasted for a long time. I shut up, embarrassed with myself, while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption in my arm. After a couple of minutes, he puts it away, looking neither pleased nor unhappy. You're all right. Head stop spinning? Yeah. Good. How are the contents doing? He didn't show very good judgment out there, Hisao. I swallowed the retort I was going to make. It's what I was thinking myself. But hearing it stated by someone else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. Doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nods, still looking as neutral as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if he said, "Told you so," or something, but he doesn't. I can try and help you keep your health, but ultimately the last call lies on you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that will remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher to avoid an interrogation. I take a slip of paper he's offering and make my leave as I can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to. Stay out of trouble, you hear? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time could be different. I hear ya. There is some way to get to the school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not keen to find out and possibly get lost, so I go out from the exit that I know works. I stop at the stairs of the auxiliary building, deliberating for a moment between the going to the dorms to get my books and stuff and going straight away to class. The sun stings my eyes, so I head towards the dorms. Back in my room, the first thing I see is a familiar row of medication bottles lined up on top of my dresser. It makes me depressed as usual. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I had made peace with this thing. Gotten over it. But what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of that reality. Trying to fight against it just hurts. Reflecting on it only is going to do so much. I've done this before. For months. It seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it is a life in progress. That is how I'll rationalize it. And down the usual handful of pills, trying to push the suddenly dreary feeling out of my head. Then I prepare to head out to class early, as usual. As I step into the hallway, I notice Kenji coming around the hallway corner, stealthily making his way over to his own room with a large bag. As he sneaks past me soundlessly like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him, "Hey." He jumps at the sound of my voice. "Oh, hey man, I didn't notice you were there. I'm really tired." I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. "Where have you been this early? Shopping?" "Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I had to visit the math teacher." "Yeah, I figured it would be a good idea to find out what the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want." "So then, what's in the bag?" "I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I need supplies to continue fighting against the vast feminist conspiracy." Uh, okay. I thought you didn't go outside. I wear a hat now. I decide not to point out that he is not wearing a hat. Wait, man, I can't go through this again. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound in the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down inside his room, then closes the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find out a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. I never study. Oh, I just wanted to know when the next test date was. I'm still going to take it, duh. I need to know so I know what day I can afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone, so I had to step out and check up on it. And why do you have to go out when you can get it on your phone? I don't carry a phone. What do you mean you don't carry your phone? You mean you just leave it at home? Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones? I have no phone. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all. No phone? I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed trauma. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. I have few theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined ominous life-altering tune call, or I was beaten with a phone in the past. Beaten so badly I can't remember it. Beaten in the head? Well, where else could I get beaten with a phone that would make me unable to remember it? The ass? Unexpectedly logical. I feel very depressed now. Sensing this conversation is more or less over, Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside. "Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one. Class is going to start in like 20 minutes. I'm already did something today. Too tired to go to school." "Hey, you need some lip balm? I actually bought two, because I thought the store started selling individual double-A batteries. Thanks, but no thanks." The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days I was pretty high-strung in class. Wait, it's 12:11. I have to stop. Wait, I'm in 2 hours and 15 minutes. I could probably do 10 minutes more. Then I have to leave. Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. "So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food." Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. "Yes, thank you, Mikado. But what I meant was more the remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the spring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Normally I'd join the floor and grab lunch myself, but today is different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. An odd location, but that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in the lee of this classroom door. Eventually, the torrent subsides, and I step tentatively out into the hallway, only to met, only to be met by Emmy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Hey, hi Hisao, great timing. I have super extra lunch today. As promised, let's go upstairs. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is the door, complete with a missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Oh, I hate this kind of high school building thing. You know, it's scattered rocks. It's not like plain flooring. I wanted like plain flooring so it can be like Subahibi all over again. Anyway, Amy shoves the door open and starts beaming into the sunlight. I know it. Yeah, yeah, there you go, because they're both friends. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Hello. Eee. Yikes. You scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she... Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze toward the crowds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Hisao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, doesn't this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. I have 7 minutes to go. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. Small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. Yeah, I was thinking much more clear flooring, but you know. I peek through the chain link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at the passerby. Somehow, when I look toward the town center, the small town feel strikes me strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of a big metropolis seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only 1 short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces 1 big and 2 small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Hisao, what are you waiting for? She is beckoning me to join them, making a room on an already small bench. I set myself in the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all of the 3 of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Ren and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go. Lunch is promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks. I make it myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a fork full of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? 4 minutes ago. I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted by my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite, which is great because I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choked on my lunch, trying not to laugh. As a figure of speech, does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How do you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Like shoes and a suit. Huh? Amy giggles at my confusion, because one of them has somewhat of an arm, and one of them doesn't have half a leg. You know what I mean? Put us together. We got all our limbs together. Get it? Ah. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I had trouble with shirts. Right, that seems pretty obvious. Really? Kind of? This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you got no arms, so putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm going to just stop talking now. Bruh, based on how you spoke with Rin, I thought at this point you're kind of used to it's totally fine to talk to her like that. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Amy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was so good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with a pink color scheme. She keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw to the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around this peculiar disability. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Hisao, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin. Pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time too, okay? I'll make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve, she giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will keep eating lunch and all alone. Well, I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was just kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. The location and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy now that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now, or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling the return of downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs, as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon classes pass. Once again, I find myself without a plan to do for something to do after school. So I head to the library to return a couple of books I finished reading. Oh, I already. Okay, this is a good stopping point for me. All right, 5 hours and 25 minutes. Not bad. Not bad of a first act. It's not even. Yeah, I don't even know how far I am. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy watching, and we'll do more of this tomorrow. I'll see you guys.